Are the New York Mets playing 4D chess with their roster construction, or did they just hand a weapon to their bitter rivals down the I-95 corridor? That is the burning question igniting the hot stove discussions this week. Folks, when you look at the transaction wire, it might seem like a minor blip, a depth signing here, a waiver claim there, but in the pressure cooker of the National League East, even the smallest pebble can start an avalanche. We are talking about the Philadelphia Phillies swooping in to sign Dylan Moore, a legitimate 2024 Gold Glove winner, to a minor league contract. On the surface, this looks like a classic rich get richer depth move for the Phillies. But the real story here isn't just about who Philadelphia gained. It is about who the New York Mets deliberately chose to ignore. Why would a team with championship aspirations pass on a versatile defender who has played literally every position on the diamond except catcher? The answer, my friends, is far more complex than a simple oversight. It signals a philosophical shift in Queens, and more importantly, it sends a massive smoke signal regarding the future of one of their most polarizing prospects. To understand the gravity of this non-move, we have to look at the context of the modern MLB bench. In years past, teams would kill to have a super utility guy, think of the Ben Zobrist of the world, someone who provides elite defense at 7 positions. Dylan Moore fits that mold perfectly. He spent his career with the Seattle Mariners turning defensive versatility into an art form, culminating in that Gold Glove hardware just 2 seasons ago. The Phillies, recognizing value, snagged him for song. If he makes the team, he earns roughly $3 million. If not, it's a low-risk gamble. Yet, the Mets looked at this opportunity, looked at their current roster construction, and said, no thanks. Instead, they are rolling the dice with Vidal Bruggen, a player who, while talented, lacks the proven major league track record and the defensive accolades of Moore. This decision has split the fan base right down the middle. One half of the Flushing faithful is scratching their heads, wondering why David Stearns would let a proven commodity go to a direct rival. The other half, however, is starting to read between the lines. This isn't just about saving a few $1 million or preferring one utility profile over another. This is a calculated gamble on the internal timeline of the organization. By passing on Moore, the Mets aren't just betting on Bruggen, they are preserving a very specific ecosystem for their younger talent. If you clog the roster with too many veterans on guaranteed or high-incentive deals, you suffocate the pipeline. The Phillies are in a different phase. They are stacking veterans to win now at all costs. The Mets, while competitive, are trying to thread the needle between contending and developing. The decision to let Moore walk to Philadelphia is the first domino in a chain reaction that directly impacts the career trajectory of Ronnie Mauricio. It's a fascinating game of roster poker, and we are just seeing the flop. Let's dig deeper into the mechanics of this decision, because the comparison between Dylan Moore and Vidal Bruggen is not exactly apples to apples. It's more like comparing a Swiss Army knife to a lottery ticket. The Mets are staring down the barrel of opening day with Bruggen likely penciled in as their 26th man. Why? Because Bruggen is out of minor league options. This is a critical piece of roster jargon that dictates careers. Being out of options means the Mets cannot simply send him down to AAA Syracuse without exposing him to waivers again. He has to make the team, or he has to go. This creates a use it or lose it scenario that often forces front offices to keep a lesser player simply to maintain asset control. It's a tale as old as time in baseball. The roster clogger who sticks around not because he's the best option, but because the rules make him the most convenient one. Compare this to the Dylan Moore profile. Moore is the finished product. He is what you hope a utility prospect becomes. He offers professional at-bats, elite glove work, and veteran savvy. In a vacuum, if you asked 30 general managers who they would rather have in a Game 7 to play defense in the 9th inning, 29 of them are picking Moore. The Phillies know this. They saw a market inefficiency, a Gold Glover sitting on the scrap heap, and pounced. For the Mets, however, signing Moore would have created a redundancy that blocks flexibility. If they signed Moore, they would likely have to cut Bruggen loose immediately, and While Moore is the better player today, he is also a floor raiser, not necessarily a ceiling raiser. The Mets seem to be operating under the philosophy that they need to keep the bottom of their roster fluid. We have seen this movie before in Queens. Remember Zack Short? The Mets have a history of cycling through these defensive-minded, light-hitting utility types who serve a purpose for 6 weeks and then vanish into the ether. Bruggen feels destined for that Zack Short role, the placeholder. He is there to soak up innings, pinch run, and give the starters a breather in April and May. He is not the long-term solution. And that is the key distinction. Dylan Moore, with his $3 million incentive and Gold Glove pedigree, would demand playing time. He would demand a roster spot for the entire season. By sticking with the temporary option in Bruggen, the Mets are explicitly keeping a seat warm. They aren't marrying the utility role, they are just dating it. This lack of commitment to a veteran utility man is the biggest hint we have that the front office is looking internally for a midseason spark. They are keeping the lane clear, refusing to pave over it with veteran cement. It's a risky strategy. If the starters get hurt early, Mets fans might be screaming for a guy like Moore. But it's a strategy that prioritizes the future over the immediate safety net. Now we arrive at the heart of the matter, the name that is silently driving all these peripheral moves, Ronnie Mauricio. If the Mets had signed Dylan Moore, it would have been a massive stop sign held up directly in Mauricio's face. By passing on Moore, the organization is effectively telling Mauricio, the door is unlocked, you just have to kick it open. Let's be realistic about the 2026 landscape for the New York Mets. The infield is crowded. With the arrival of Bo Bichette to man the hot corner, a move that screams win now, the opportunities for a young player to break through are scarce. Bichette at third base and Francisco Linder at shortstop creates a superstar blockade on the left side of the infield. This year is all about Bo Bichette establishing himself in New York, which means the let the kids play narrative has been put on pause, or has it? Mauricio is currently stuck in that dangerous 4A purgatory, too good for AAA, but perhaps not quite polished enough for a full-time MLB role on a contender. He has nothing left to prove in Syracuse regarding raw talent. We know he has thunder in his bat. We know he can impact the baseball at 110 miles per hour. But the Mets are asking for refinement. They need him to figure out how to hit left-handed pitching from the right side, a split that has plagued him. They need him to get comfortable at first base, adding another tool to his belt since third and short are occupied by all-stars. If Moore were on the roster, there would be zero urgency to call Mauricio up. Moore would eat up all the utility at-bats against lefties. Moore would be the late-inning defensive replacement. By sticking with Bruggen, who, let's be honest, is likely to be designated for assignment the moment a better option arises, the Mets are creating a soft landing spot for Mauricio. The scenario is clear. Mauricio starts the year in AAA, gets 150 at-bats, torches minor league pitching, and forces the issue by June. When he is ready, Bruggen is easily discardable. Moore would not have been. This is asset management 101. You don't block your high-upside power prospect. With a veteran, you can't easily move. The Mets are banking on Mauricio's ceiling. They want him to be the mid-season acquisition that costs nothing but a phone call. It's a vote of confidence in his development. They are saying, we believe you can be better than a utility player, so we aren't going to sign a premium one to take your spot. It puts the pressure squarely on Mauricio's shoulders to perform, but it also gives him a clear destination. The path is there, he just has to walk it. In the grand scheme of a 162-game season, a minor league deal in February often gets forgotten by July. But make no mistake, the ripple effects of the Phillies signing Dylan Moore and the Mets passing on him will be felt throughout the summer of 2026. For Philadelphia, it's a savvy move to bolster their floor. For New York, it's a calculated risk to raise their ceiling. David Stearns and the Mets front office are playing a long game. They are willing to sacrifice a little bit of certainty in April, living with the limitations of Adal Bruggen, in exchange for the explosive potential of Ronnie Mauricio in June or July. It is a strategy that requires patience, something that is often in short supply in the concrete jungle of New York sports. If Mauricio comes up and provides that switch-hitting power spark off the bench or fills in for an injury with dynamic production, everyone will praise this decision as a masterclass in roster flexibility. If the Mets bench struggles and Dylan Moore is winning games for the Phillies with his glove, the local tabloids will have a field day. But that is the nature of the beast. The Mets have chosen a path that favors their own youth development over external safety nets. They are betting that the Mr. In-Between version of Mauricio is about to graduate into a legitimate major league weapon. They kept the seat warm. They left the light on. Now, it is entirely up to the player to come home and claim his spot. So, what do you think, folks? Did the Mets make a mistake letting a Gold Glover go to a division rival? Or is clearing the runway for Ronnie Mauricio the smartest move they could have made? I want to hear your take. Drop a comment below. Are you Team Moore or Team Mauricio? And while you are down there, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more exclusive breakdowns of the NL East chess match. We are just getting started, and you won't want to miss what happens next. Until next time, keep your eyes on the diamond,